Hello, Larry Yatch with SEAL Team Leaders, and today I want to change the script a little bit. Normally on this channel I'm talking about leadership lessons and team optimization lessons, just hardcore stuff to really enable you to have the team you need to produce the life that you want. And today I want to spend a little time talking about a little bit of my origin, what drove me to want to be a SEAL, and how does that lead into what we're doing today with our company. And for me, the start of all of this was second grade. And in second grade, I switched schools with my twin sister from a school up out in the suburbs of Pittsburgh into a city school. It was a small Catholic school, and we were really far behind. That's why my parents changed schools with us. And this was a small school with kids that had been together since kindergarten, and being not exactly a normal kid, as well as having a twin sister and then being really far behind, the bullying started really early on. And so early in my life, I was confronted with bullying. Unfortunately for the bullies, they didn't know that I was going to turn into a 200-pound lethal Navy SEAL, which did make my 10-year high school reunion very rewarding for me and scary for many of them. But that didn't change the challenges that I faced being a kid that wasn't normal, that did not fit in, and that was confronted with bullying very much throughout my early life. So there's this little kid in the city of Pittsburgh that is abnormal, and that was one of the biggest lessons that I learned early on, is that being normal is not the place to be, right? Wanting to fit in means that you can never be exceptional, right? The circle of normal and the circle of exceptional, they don't overlap. And so I took my uniqueness as a gift, as something that drove me towards a bigger future. The second thing was how caustic bullying is. That an individual with power being the ability to influence change, an individual with some sort of power. Now, as a little kid, that power is being excluded, not being able to be played with in the same groups on the schoolyard, or actually using the power to make fun of, to isolate someone else, right? The bullying is using your power to hurt someone else at your own benefit. Now, I understand that many of these bullies might have had some challenges in their life, and that they were really scared, and that they wanted to direct negative attention on someone else, that they didn't get it. Now, as an adult, I understand all of that, but as a kid, it was very challenging to be in an environment where I never fit in. On top of that, that drove a very big change in me that served me for the rest of my life. And that change was the identification that external gratification, external reward, having someone else validate who I am, never happened to me as a kid, because I only got negative external validation, except for at home from my parents. And so as a kid, I learned to motivate myself through internal gratification, through internal drive. Being able to validate my own worth, my self-worth, based on how I felt about myself, on the goals I would set and my accomplishments in reaching those. I gave up a concern for what other people thought. Now, if you ever want to innovate, if you ever want to be exceptional, as I said before, you can't be normal, because normal people don't do exceptional things, right? By the definition of being normal, that means you're going to do normal stuff. And as soon as you turn the corner from being normal into exceptional, that means you're not going to be like the rest. And when we're not like the rest, that often comes with negative attention. And so if you are externally motivated, that negative attention is going to stop your drive. Whereas on my front, not only did that negative attention stoke my fire, not to prove them wrong, but to be able to establish in myself this self-awareness that I have worth and I can create value, and that depended on what I did on my own. By setting those internal goals and achieving those goals, I got to prove my value to myself. That enabled me to do amazing things, from getting into the Naval Academy to getting into the SEAL program. I remember my first day at SEAL training when the instructor was yelling at me, telling me how could I possibly do anything if I couldn't do the sets of push-ups that we were doing there. And I just laughed because it was just another day of Larry being mediocre at something. You know, another day of someone yelling at me, making fun of me. And at that point I was like, oh, I'm good at this. I know how this works. My goal is just to get to the end of that exercise, to get to the end of that day, to get to the end of the training. And then when you get into a war zone, it gets even worse. There is nothing positive. There's nothing good. There's no external part of your environment that supports you. Everything is against you. And so you can only survive in those environments with strong internal drive, with a strong sense of who you are. And then going into business, the battlefield of the boardroom in the business is a hell of a lot harder than the battlefield I suffered in Iraq and Middle East and Southeast Asia. Because in the same sense, being able to build an amazing organization is always going to be a challenge. You're going to be confronted with people that are concerned with their own good over the good of the group, and that is just a form of bullying. And that ties into what we do now. The opposite of bullying is leadership. Leadership is using your power to influence change to benefit those around you. That's what I believe business is about, is being able to create an organization, a structure, and a team that can use their power to benefit their clients. And that opportunity to create that type of team is amazing because it gives us not only the ability to set our internal goals and achieve it, to be able to create innovations and be exceptional, but it enables us to create a structure for other people to do the same thing. And so for me, I couldn't thank those bullies enough. Those bullies gave me the opportunity to really seat my identity in myself, to be able to give me the drive to do big things, and to give me the awareness that setting these goals, achieving them internally, being able to have my own locus of drive and identity enabled me to do amazing things and now bring these lessons of leadership to not only 40, 50,000 kids, but tens of thousands of people within organizations. So those bullies might have enjoyed their time then, but for me, I'm certainly reaping the benefits. So remember, the big thing I want you to remember here is the opposite of bullying is leadership, and the opposite of using your power to hurt someone is using your power to help someone. And that's what we want to teach you on this channel, teach you in our organizations. If there's any way we can support you in creating those opportunities to be exceptional, both as an individual and as a team, we'd love to support you. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below to be able to hit that notification bell so you can get these lessons to your inbox and you know they're coming in. And I'd love to see any comments that you have around the bullying that you've experienced in your life, because all of us have been in a situation where someone with power used it to hurt us. I'd love to hear that and be able to comment on it and see how it created positive possibilities in your life. Once again, thank you for giving me the opportunity to lead and to be able to bring these lessons that were hard-earned to all of you. Larry Yatz with SEAL Team Leaders, and I look forward to seeing you not only on this channel, but in any other way we can support you with our amazing team.